It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Project Potter. Welcome back to Ho Ho Oh, our Project Potter holiday special, guys. We're doing 25 straight nights of Christmas movie reviews, guys. We're here on night 18. We're reviewing Eight Crazy Nights, the 2002 Adam Sandler animated film. Guys, this is the first time I've seen this, and I know I'm late to the party here. I'm behind on the times, but I really enjoyed this movie, and I'll get into that, guys. But if you haven't been to the channel before, my name is Kyle, your host. Thanks for checking out Project Potter, guys, and go check out the other content, go check out the other reviews, of course, for the special and just the other content on the channel. Appreciate you guys stopping by, like, comment, subscribe, of course. But guys, what we do is go through my favorite scenes, my favorite character, my least favorite character, score out of 10, and then we rank it up with the Ho Ho Oh rankings, guys. So without further ado, guys, let's go. So guys, Eight Crazy Nights, man. I heard good things about this. I didn't look at any of the Rotten Tomato scores. I didn't do anything like that. I like to go into these like with like, all right, this is a fresh mindset. I like to know as little as possible. I like to be like, how am I gonna enjoy this experience? Because there's certain things that people like more that I don't like, and there's certain things that I like a lot more that other people don't like. So that's the beauty of having your own opinion, guys. So I will say though, man, we go into this production, and that's what I want to call it because the production value is so high on this. I mean, the songs are clever and funny, and the writing is funny. And as soon as Whitey comes on screen and it's just Adam Sandler's voice in this ridiculous high pitched voice, I was like, this is what we're in for here. I'm watching it and I'm like, this is teetering the line between being like so obnoxious and so funny. And most of the time it was so funny. And then there's like little lines that I just thought should not have been that funny. And I was cracking up because it was just constantly like, he's like, you're a degenerate technical foul song. And I'm not going to try to do an impression of Whitey's voice, guys, but it's just classic, like Adam Sandler doing like the craziest, like goofiest voice. And, when he starts seizing the first time, I was like, oh my God. And then he's like, it's fine. I'm just seizing a little bit. It's like, oh, okay. This movie surprised me because it had way more heart than I thought it was going to. I mean, guys, I was crying at the end of this. Like, I was full on tears. Like, it really hit me. And, the whole story, I go over favorite scenes usually, guys, but, I mean, obviously everything with the reindeer coming through and he pushes him over in the porta potty and then he calls him like a poopsicle, and then the reindeer like help him out. And the first time the reindeer help him out is when his car is stuck, obviously. And they're like, don't you just love when a group of reindeer help out a motorist in trouble? And this movie is like very self-aware, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it leans into its goofiness. And I really like that about this. And it's just the characters are so outrageous, like Eleanor, and then the first time I saw Whitey, when he's walking through, I was like, oh, they just like didn't know how to animate it. And then he's like, the size of a 8 foot adult and size 9 children's foot on the left. It's like, oh, okay. So he's just ridiculous. And then Eleanor has like the opposite. So they're like, fraternal twins that just have this like absolutely ridiculous deformity. And so that was like, hilarious within itself. And even doing like flips on the ice rink later. The story isn't necessarily like crazy original. It's so sad, dude. I mean, the scene where like he ends up winning the game, and the flashbacks are like they just made the kids like really likable and everything, of course. And Adam Sandler's character, like he scores all the points and they come back from this crazy deficit and they win, and he's like looking for his parents. And like something about this just like really hit home for me, where I think it was like the realism where it's like, oh, where are your parents? And he's like, oh, they're probably just out getting me an Atari. And I'm like, oh, honey, please show up. And it's like they show up before, like the timing too was so important to me. Like they show up before the end of the game. And I was like, oh, so these kids are celebrating having this amazing moment. And then right after that, he gets the news that his parents, like a truck hit black ice and kill his parents in a car accident. And I think this really hit home because, like, despite the ridiculous animation and the ridiculous circumstances and stuff, Davy is really a 33-year-old drunk degenerate, and you're like, okay, this guy is so unlikable, and he's like really like deplorable at the beginning. But then you realize that he does have an excuse, really, or there's a reason why he's like that, and it's super sad, dude. The woman, they knew each other as kids, and that was cute, and the flashbacks were cute. And then she's like, oh, I wish he was just like, the way he used to be. I wish there was a little bit more like redemption arc for Davy because he kind of went from like, oh, I hate everything, everything sucks, and then his trailer burns down, and then Whitey's like, you can stay with me, and then he's like, oh, okay. And he's like, "What? I have to change my whole thing." He's like, "They're talking about Lysol," and he goes, "That's a technical foul. That's a technical foul. Don't touch the thermostat. It's a technical foul." And like right after that, he just like gets it, and then he spends more and more time. He's like slowly lightening up. I wish there was more build up for that because the jump from being like, "I hate everything. My life is lost," to like, "Hey guys, Whitey's the best," and all that. And Adam Sandler has the song at the end, which is great, and that scene, that hilarious scene where the guy's like, I was watching the football game and we are getting a fuzzy picture, and Whitey shows up, and Whitey's design is like intentionally adorable too, where he's just like always smiling and stuff. And game's fuzzy. He comes over, and they're like, Whitey stood on top of the TV with an antenna the whole time, and he's like, even when the lightning struck, he was making these crazy sounds, like these screeches. And then they're like, we just turned the volume up, and he's like, we're all going to hell. That was really funny. Basically, the whole town realizes that like they've all treated Whitey like garbage. And there's that super sad scene where Whitey goes to the mall and he's like praying, and that's like kind of his church, and it's so sad. And he's like, at least maybe I should move somewhere else. At least no one will know me there, so they'll have a reason to ignore me or whatever, or like it'll make sense that they ignore me. And it's so sad. And then Davy says something, and then Eleanor is like, "Holy shit! Did the mall just say something?" It's like, no, it's just Davy. But yeah, they get the redemption there at the end, guys. And then scene where, they're like, oh, the 35th pageant is for you. And he's like, no, no, this is Tom. And he's like, no, Eddie, this is for you. And then the scene that really got me was when they're all throwing the pageants down. They're like, number 34, number 33, number 18. And I just like, that just hit me like a ton of bricks, dude. And like, I was just sobbing, like, because it was just so nice. And, for a movie that's so like ridiculous, and the guy that has happy seizures and, is got a size 11 foot and then an adult foot and then a size 9 child's foot, and has a crazy voice and everything. It's really about kindness and being kind, and how this man didn't need anything in return, and he just kept being kind. And I don't know, it just really hit me. And man, and it's like, everyone should be better, and everyone should strive to be better. And if nothing else, guys, out of this, you think an Adam Sandler crazy animated movie about Hanukkah, and about how even in the film, like, most of the people celebrate Christmas, but he celebrates Hanukkah, and it's like, it's a shout out to the Jewish community for doing that. And so it's just it's a really powerful movie, and I can't believe I'm saying that after watching this animated goofy thing where reindeer literally lick the poopsicle clean and help his car and everything. But yeah, the moral of the story is that Whitey is an amazing person, and it really should teach us all a lesson that we should all be better. So, not trying to get all serious on you guys, but take a second and see if reach out or to your loved ones, or maybe someone you weren't as kind to before. Reach out to them this holiday season, because you never know, it could make a world of difference. So, okay, guys, and that's a good transition into my favorite character, which of course is Whitey. I mean, the voice is hilarious, but Adam Sandler brings so much heart to this character. And of course, there's the design that goes into that, and there's plenty of funny scenes and everything, and he's a joke for the most part. But at the end, it's like he really is just like a super nice guy, and he isn't like the most handsome guy. He isn't the most athletic. He's got medical problems, he's a loner, but he really is like the heart of that town. And everyone kind of thinks, in a way, whether consciously or subconsciously, that they're better than him. And then at the end, they realize, like, oh my God, we've been so terrible to Whitey. And they're like, we're so sorry. Like, here, we want to make it up to you. And that was just so heartwarming. And Whitey is like the heart of this thing. This doesn't work without Whitey. And somehow he toes the line between being hilarious all the time and me just laughing at like all this stuff, where and like wobbling over to the table and putting the tray up there. And he's driving with the blocks on there because he can't reach the pedals. And he's like just above the wheel, or just below the wheel, I should say. He can barely see. And there's a scene where him and Eleanor are trying to get the cobwebs at the top, and Davey puts him on his shoulders, and he's like, "Oh, thank you." It's just great, dude. Whitey is a really memorable character, and I think you have to be a monster to not feel for Whitey. So, obviously they write him like that and they animate him like that, but they knew what they were doing here, and hats off to the writers and the animation team for really selling that. And Whitey is the best character. Okay, guys, the worst character in this one, it's got to be the classic bullies that are like the guy that ends up eating the jockstrap at the end of the basketball game, after Benjamin and Adam Sandler's character get together, and there's like a nice moment where he teaches Benjamin how to you know, kind of play, and he's like, oh, elbow in, and then the kid ends up being really good at basketball, and that's like kind of it's cliche, but that's like how the woman starts to see Adam Sandler in a different light. I like at the end of that scene where he's like, okay, now say what I told you to say. And he's like, eat these nuts, biatch. And it's like, we do not use that language in here. Guy, I know he served a purpose. He was supposed to be like, you know, the guy that's like, okay, you know, would challenge you to basketball. And it's like, okay, and this is how Adam Sandler's character like goes in there. And, you know, he's got to show that he's really good at basketball and that he isn't like unredeemable, as they would say in Spirited. The bullies, I mean, by default, guys, again, just kind of like, oh, you know, but I do like that he ate the jockstrap at the end. That was funny. And then even the guy's like, why are you eating that? And there's some really funny moments in this movie, obviously, but yeah, the bullies, I guess, are the basketball bullies, I should say, are the least favorite characters for me. Hey guys, that brings us to the score. Guys, I'm going to say that this is a 9-4. Big reason for this score being so high, guys, and this surprised me, and a couple of these movies that I've been rating high, guys, did not, I mean, I don't really know what I'm going into these, you know, like I don't really have like a set score in my head. I'm trying to go in these with a fresh mind. And this one I'd never seen before, so I had no idea what to expect, but I figured it would be at least a pretty good time, but I figured it might be middle of the pack. But this one surprised me, and I think a reason why this movie gets such a high score for me, number one, the production value is outrageous. This movie is ahead of its time, dude. This is a 2002 movie. The animation is wonderful. The writing is wonderful. The production value is great. But it's really the heart. It's really the heart that brings it. And yeah, there's some funny characters and there's some over the top characters. Of course, like Eleanor is ridiculous with her big glasses and she's got the wig. And it was actually really sad when she lost the wig. But then she gets it at the end, and then he keeps throwing the wig, and then the other guy keeps getting it. The guy that's like banging his head on the table. And he's like, at least this one makes me look pretty. And then the guy, when he reveals the hook, he's like, remember, he's like, I wanted to make left-handed lamps and be a millionaire. He's like, which one do you guys think came first? And then he like holds up his hook hand, and the guy's like, whoa. He's like, I'm sorry, I was not expecting that. That was funny. This movie is very self-aware, and I love it. And it's just really, really, like I said, guys, ahead of its time. It's great. It's funny. But if there's no heart to this movie, then it's just a stupid, raunchy comedy. And the heart and the message is really what sticks out to this, and that's why it gets the score that it gets. Okay, guys, that brings us to the Ho Ho Oh rankings. So, guys, number 1, we have Spirited at a 10 out of 10. Number 2, Home Alone at 9.9. Number 3, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer at a 9.8. Number 4, Bad Santa at a 9.7. Number 5, Daddy's Home at a 9.6. And this one, guys, is going to slot in at number 6 here. And then followed by number 7, guys, The Night Before at an 8.6. Number 8, Jingle All the Way at an 8.4. Number 9, Just Friends at an 8.3. Number 10, The Grinch, How the Grinch Stole Christmas at 80.2. The Jim Carrey one. Number 11, guys, A Muppet Christmas Carol at a 7.4. Number 12, Klaus at a 7.1. Number 13, guys, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special at a 6.6. Number 14, guys, Deck the Halls at a 6.5. Number 15, The Polar Express at a 6.1. Number 16, A Charlie Brown Christmas at a 5.7. Number 17, Christmas with the Cranks at a 5.3. And rounding out the list, as always, guys, at the bottom is number 18, A Christmas Story at a 2.5. So, guys, that is how our Ho Ho Oh rankings shape up for 18 nights. All right, guys, that's another episode. Ho Ho Oh, 18 nights down, guys. We are almost there. We're almost at the finish line, guys, as Christmas approaches. And again, if nothing else, guys, whether you don't like this movie, whether you like this movie, from this review, if nothing else, please take a moment and just, we can all be better. We should all be better. We should all strive to be better. It's the holiday season, guys. Again, if there's someone that you haven't been good to, or if there's someone you got an argument with, or just were mean to, or just someone you haven't connected with in a while, guys, take a minute, reach out to them, be better. We should all be kinder to each other, especially today, guys. The world is upside down, but we're trying to make the best of it, guys, and every little bit counts. So not to get all sappy on you guys, but I appreciate you guys stopping by. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out the other content, guys, and until tomorrow night.
Fancy technical fail.